Hello friends, welcome to my channel Clinical Biochemistry by Dr. PK Prabhakar. Today I am going to take another question, that is why osteoporosis is more common in the postmenopausal life in case of female. So normally we usually see after the menopause, normally women are getting more prone for the bone fractures, osteoporosis and other things. So we will see today what is the main reason of this one, how this is going to happen. So first we should understand something about the estrogen. So if you see estrogen, estrogen is also known as estrogen, which normally promotes the development and maintenance of female sexual characteristics in their body. Estrogen is most commonly mistaken as it is a female hormone, but it is not the true. The truth is, estrogen is present in both male as well as female. And although not only estrogen hormone plays a significant role in men, but likely they do in women. So its major features, a major function occurs in the female, but it is present both in male as well as in female. In case of adolescent, puberty begins when ovaries increases in the size and it starts producing the estrogen and other reproductive hormones. So that time normally puberty is going to get a start. Then at the age of following the age of 35 years or so, estrogen levels remains fairly stable. We will see later on how different according to the age estrogen level is going to change. So it starts at the puberty level, estrogen secretions, and then roughly for 35 years or so on, it will be almost remains stable. There will be minor fluctuation during the menstrual cycle or during the pregnancy, and at the age of means after the reproductive years, when it is going to happen menopause, then normally the estrogen level is going to start decline. So they are going to decrease in their concentration. So when we are going to see estrogens, so there are different types of estrogen we are having. Uh, so if we'll see the types of estrogen, there are mainly two types of estrogen hormones we are having. That is called as steroidal and non-steroidal. Fine. Steroidal estrogens hormones are endogenous origin. The normally we are going to produce inside our body, while non-steroidal estrogens hormone can be found within the range of the synthetic and natural substances, like you can see here. Okay. So both of these type of estrogen hormone can also be synthesized pharmaceutically. So we are going to produce in the pharmaceutical industry both steroidal and the non-steroidal hormones. Now one by one we are going to see steroidal hormones are normally lipids made from the cholesterols. They are mainly produced in the adrenal glands and reproductive glands. Because they are lipids, so this means they are lipid soluble, or you can also call as fat solubles. There are three structures of endogenous estrogen hormones, that is estradiol here, that is called as E2 also. Then we are having estrone, that is E1, and then we are having estriol, that is E3. Now different amounts of each hormone will be produced in a woman's body depending on her reproductive age. So later on we will have a separate video on the different types of estrogens and the different their functions. Then we are going to see the non-steroidal hormones. These non-steroidal hormones are normally derived from the proteins, making them water soluble and unable to penetrate and enter the target cells. Because normally proteins cannot enter the cells directly through the plasma membrane. So these non-steroidal hormones bind to the receptor proteins on the target cells, extreme or the cell's external membranes. From there, secondary messenger is going to works. So there we are having different type of many natural and synthetic substances are known as having the estrogenic activity. Non-steroidal hormones normally consist of genoestrogens, natural genoestrogens, which can be natural or synthetic. Natural genoestrogens are further divided into phytoestrogens and mycoestrogens. So again, we can have a separate video when we will talk about the different types of estrogens. That time we will see this. Basically, just phytoestrogens and mycoestrogens. I will tell you. Phytoestrogens are compound normally coming from the plants, and mycoestrogens are another type of estrogens which is normally coming from the fungus. Now if we'll see the how this how estrogen is going to fluctuate with the age. So there are according to that age we are having four different phases that we are going to call premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. In case of premenopause, normally that is the reproductive age. So there we are having estrogens level regular and consistent. So you can see the estrogens levels are almost same. Minor fluctuation during the reproductive age, either due to menstrual cycle or during the pregnancy. In the perimenopause, it becomes slightly irregular, and when menopause occurs, that time its estrogen level almost falls. It will be almost nil, and post menopause it will be completely nil. So there normally we don't have estrogen hormones. So this is how it is going to happen according to the age. Now, if you will see how estrogen production changes in with the menopause. So in that case, major if you see when women's naturally transition out of the fertile years, the ovaries run out of eggs because slowly eggs going to be depleted, and this thus leads to drastic decrease in the estrogen during the postmenopause, as the eggs were the major producer of estrogens. Because egg is going to decrease, so obviously estrogen is also going to decrease. Now we will see there how it is going to happen. So for decades of the woman's life, the ovaries contributes for a substantial amount of the body's estradiol. When the ovary stops reproductive functions, means egg formation and their maturation is going to stop, blood estrogen level also drops dramatically, as much as almost 90% drop is going to happen. Yet although they can produce some amount of estrogens, ovaries continue to make testosterone in a small amount, which can be converted to estradiol in body fat. Okay. Now here if you see adrenal glands making androstenedione and converting it into estrone and estradiols. Ovaries making testosterone and that can be converted to estradiol. So minor amount will be produced from this way, but normally directly not going to be produced too much amount. So whenever estrogen is going to decrease in the postmenopause case, there are some kind of symptoms is going to happen, like allergies, arthritis, vaginal atrophy, thyroid dysfunction, urinary tract infections, heart, gallbladder, and uterine cancers. Aside from these symptoms that are customarily associated with the transition from the postmenopause, there are additional concern for postmenopausal women due to the consistent low level of estrogens and other hormones. So what is that one? So if you see the estrogens functions, this estrogens normally, because we are talking about the bone and osteoporosis, so estrogens is going to work on three different types of bone cells, that is osteocytes, osteoblast, and osteoclast. Osteocytes are bone cells. So normally whenever we are having estrogen hormone, it is going to decrease the apoptotic process in the osteocytes. Means longevity of the osteocytes will be persist because of estrogen, and if you don't have estrogens, apoptosis will be more, so that time osteocytes will die. Estrogens works on osteoblast cells, which is the bone formation cells. There also apoptosis is going to decrease, oxidative stress will be decreased, NF kappa B activity, another mechanism, is going to decrease, and it normally helps in the maintenance of bone formation. So estrogen helps in the bone formation, and when we don't have estrogen, bone formation will decrease. At the same time, estrogen also works on osteoclast, that is bone degradative cells. Their apoptosis will be increased, means when estrogen will be there, bone degrading cells will die. So bone degradation will not occur. And other things is rankle induced differentiation will be there, which normally decreases the bone reabsorption, bone demineralization will be decreased. The overall activity of estrogen on osteocytes, osteoblasts, and osteoclasts normally increase bone formation, bone mineralizations, and decreases bone deabsorption, reabsorption, or bone demineralization. So this normally makes bone more stronger. If we'll see the detailed function, uh, normally estrogens works on the different cells, that osteoblast, osteocytes, and osteoclast cells, through different means receptors. Estrogens plays a very crucial role in achieving the peak bone mass, actual growth, and final height of the in the both genders. They act through either estrogen receptors, ER, alpha and very less extent to the ERB. So if you can see alpha, mainly it is working through ER alpha and minor extent with the ERB in the osteoclast, osteoblast, and osteocytes. But overall effect, if you see, they are going to increase the bone mass when we are having estrogen. So bone formation will be increased and bone reabsorption will decrease. Whenever we are having estrogen, then this happens. But as means in the post-menopausal age, when egg formation will not be there, reproductive age has been declined, estrogen level is going to decrease. Because of that one, normally this bone formation will decrease and bone loss, bone demineralizations will be more. So that time normally bone becomes brittle, bone becomes osteoporous, bone becomes porous, will be more fragile, more weaker, so that it will get even a minor force can break the bone. So bone of the post-menopausic age will be more fragile, more breakable, more prone for the damages, and it will be leading to the osteoporosis. So this is the exact reason how this, in case of post-menopausic age, bone demineralization occurs, and women will be more prone for osteoporosis and other things. Hope you will get some information from this video. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. You can press the bell button. If you like the video, you can like it, you can share with the friends. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.